Hello everyone, this is Tim with Paintball Tek. Today I wanted to give you a insight into how I do all my shipping once the markers are finished being repaired. So I'm going to show you how to get a marker like this beautiful Tek niche autococker into a box like this without having any extra space, so it's ready to ship and it's not going to get damaged. First of all, you need your marker, obviously, and whatever parts you're going to send with it. You need to get a medium flat rate box, just like this. Okay. Now, we're going to use part of a second box to actually help with the packaging. So, bend the ends down, cut the ends off your second box. Both sides, and then you're going to cut the end strips as well, so that all you have left is the two sides of the box, just like this. Okay. Once you have that stuff, then you have what you're going to mount your marker to. This is so that the marker, once it's in the box, doesn't shift left, right, or up and down. So, take your piece, place it down, place your marker on top, orient it so that it's not, let's get a better view, so that it's not touching the sides or the edges, so you have plenty of space on the top and bottom. Then what you do is take a Sharpie and mark the spots around the gun that are on places where there's nothing that's going to get scratched or bent in shipping. So you don't want to put a zip tie around, say, the pneumatics, or where your timing rod is, or your cocking rod or bolt, something like that. You want to put it places like around the grip frame of the vertical ASA, around the feed neck, around the body and the back of the frame, around the bottom of the frame or the ASA area. Places like that where you have sturdy spots. Now, once you have the marks on your board, you can see the little dots here. All you have to do is take a standard pocket knife and poke the holes through, like this. And what you're going to do is take zip ties, run them through the board, along every pair of holes that you have marked. Now I use 11 or 12 inch 40-pound test zip ties, so they're fairly sturdy. They're not going to break. The cardboard that USPS uses is pretty solid and pretty sturdy. Now, once you have your zip ties in and threaded through, like that, lay your board back down, lay your marker back down, and fit the zip ties to the areas where they're supposed to go. So this one's going through the frame. Just kind of tighten them down lightly. Until you get all four of them secured. That way you can adjust things if you need to. Okay. So that's a pretty decent fit. Now tighten everything down, cinch it down tight to the board. You're going to tear the cardboard probably a little bit on a few of these, but that's okay, it's not going to hurt it. Okay. Now your marker's secured to the board. It's not going to shift any way you look at it. Right? And you clip the excess zip ties off. Scissors, nips, whatever you got. Okay. Then any other spare parts you have, like this is, the O-rings and the hoses that I pulled off this marker from service. Just take a piece of tape. You can secure it to the board, the backing board, wherever you want. If you have barrels, things like that, what I usually do is I wrap them in bubble wrap and then stick them on the back here and tape them to the back of the board. Now that you have this all set up, and that's everything that's going with the marker, this is the larger diameter bubble wrap. It's not the small bubbles. This is the half-inch style bubble wrap with the big bubbles on it. I buy this by the roll. You can get it at Home Depot for about $20 for a 125-foot roll of it. Whatever side is going to give you the cushy bubble part down against the marker, that's the side you're going to start with. So stick it to the edge here and tape your bubble wrap to the edge of your cardboard, like so. And all you're going to do is wrap the cardboard in bubble wrap. I find 3 or 4 wraps is usually sufficient, so that you've got a good, inch or 2 on each side. Then just take a razor blade, something like that, slice off the end, and tape the edges over. Now this is just basically protecting your marker up and down. Because the marker is obviously still zipped to the board, it's not going to fall out of this, whichever way you look at it. Now, you get your standard medium priority mailbox. Slide it down in and check the fit. If it still has some wiggle room, top and bottom, like this, you can either use extra bubble wrap if you have it, or something like butcher's paper, newspaper, basically anything that'll take up the extra room. What you do is pull your marker back out, wrap an edge underneath, slide it back down in so it goes all the way to the bottom. Again, this is only to take up space, so you just want to make it as fluffy and cushy as possible. Toss in a business card if you got a business card. Then fold your box over and close it. Use your standard glue back like this. And then for extra added security, I'm going to tape the box closed with shipping tape. Now if you're doing a lot of shipping like me, you always want to mark on the box who it's going to. Because you don't want to have to open the box up later to find out whose gun was in which box. And that's basically the easiest way to do shipping on paintball markers. It works with single guns, like autocockers like that really well, even better on markers like, something like an Intimidator, where you can lay it down flat on the board. Something like, here's an axe, for example. Axes are really small, so you have lots of space around here, so it's not going to reach the edge of the board. You can do it with pump markers as well, although they generally take up a little bit more room. You might have to use a larger box to ship it in. See how it's reaching over the edges of the board here? So for something like this, you would generally use a larger box. And that's also for shipping 2 smaller guns at once. You can do that as well. So this is a standard medium flat rate box. For 2 guns, we use what's called a large flat rate board game box. Now these aren't available at the post office. You'd have to order these from the USPS website, but they are free just like any other priority box. The box sides are twice as long basically. So for something like 2 Intimidators, which I have to ship out later, you would basically secure them on the board the same way. You can add, you know, a piece of foam or something in between here if you're worried about them getting shifted and shipping it all. Or if the fit is really tight, you can add foam between them. With these it shouldn't be a problem because there's plenty of space. There's about 2-3 inches in between, an inch on each side, so it's not a problem. And then, like I was saying, for larger guns, these also work well, even with a barrel on. That'll fit on there, you know, perfectly fine. Zip that to the board and then just bubble wrap it and it's good to go. I've been doing this for 5-6 years now. That's how I ship all my markers. I haven't had any issues with anything being damaged in shipping. In 5 years of sending stuff through USPS, I haven't had anything lost in shipping this way. The boxes have never shown up damaged, or if they were damaged, it was just a puncture mark on the outside from something that happened in shipping. There was never anything sticking out from being loose inside the box, which is what you're really looking for. I actually got this trick from Lori working at Palmer's Pursuit years ago. It was one of the ways they shipped some of their oddball shaped markers, and it's worked really well for them, and it's worked really well for me. So best way to ship a gun without getting damage done to it. Do yourself a favor, spend a little extra time, a little extra money on your shipping materials, and it'll make sure that your sales get to their customers without any damage. Alright, that's been Tim from Paintball Tek. Have a good afternoon, guys.